start. This is a spiritual discourse by Brahmachari Pratyagaatma Chaitanya ji. He studied Vedanta and Sanskrit under Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji and Swami Sashatkrtanadaji, and completed Pujya Swamiji's Vedanta course in Coimbatore, India itself. So then he studied with and served Brahmaleen Swami Pratyagbodhanandaji until 2020. Assisting him, Brahmachariji had conducted several outreach programs, Gita Study programs, Satsangs and youth sessions and the temple temple talks. He is based off of Saylorsburg, Pennsylvania, where the Arsha Vidya Gurukulam is there. And welcome. And as I said, our Dr. Sane is also student of Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Yeah. So with now we'll start the discourse and closing remarks, Dr. Sane.
Hari Om, so glad to be here, and I feel very fortunate actually. Bhagwan has called me. That's how I feel, like that. Otherwise I don't think I can be here. Such a beautiful temple, and I know Vallabha from our HMEC meetings. So I told I'm coming all the way for my Midwest outreach. So how about also extending my journey and for satsang and all that. She was readily saying yes, she's available, and the dates and everything was finalized, and here I am. The topic we have today is freedom from stress. Very relevant topic, right? Stress can be in different forms. It can be for some pressure, some strain, and some worry, right? It can be any form like that. Suppose if you are a student, say, or suppose you are a professional going to give a test, not knowing what's going to, how much you have to prepare, right? That's a big pressure here. And then you keep procrastinating just by thinking of that. The pressure keeps making you. What is the difference between procrastinating and postponing? Postponing is when you know you're waiting for the better time or some resources. Procrastination is when you just hide your book under your table thinking it will disappear. It's going to be there, right there, staring at you. So there's so much of pressure to come up with good grades in the test, and so pressure is there, worry is there. Once you have given the answers, also you are worried whether you have given the right. This is for even professionals. Sometimes they go to the meeting and speak in tangent, not relevant at all. Then they come back and say, I do so much, but I'm stressed. I'm stressing myself so much, but still I'm not getting the rewards and all that, right? So stress can be in so many different ways. Now, then that affects every area. It affects your performance in a job, at your school. I've had kids come and tell me that there's so much of pressure and stress that it makes them feel so scared about the exams, and they're unable to, they feel stuck. So it can affect your grades, and it can affect your relationship also, right? That's also there. It can affect and it can affect your health. So this stress which is affecting all of us, if you see what is all causing stress for you, so many different objects, people, situations, objects, right? Outcomes, it's outside. So many things are causing stress for you, but if you look at it, those things which are causing stress in your life, they're all outside. Even if it is your health bothering you, you are conscious of your body that it's having hunger, it is having thirst and whatnot. So in a way you're able to objectify. So whatever is causing stress for you, you can see that people, especially in situations, they're all outside, they're not inside. But where is the stress happening? It's happening here. So what is outside is stressing you out here to that level where we have to really work on that. We cannot sustain with so much of stress many times. So if I ask you, what is that which is outside causing the stress here? Because people are outside, they're not here. Things, situations outside, they're not. So why is it having an effect here, as though they are loaded here? Right, when you fly Air India, or any flight, so Minnesota, you fly to Chicago and fly to India? Is that how you fly, or?
We go to Europe. From here to Europe.
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam or Paris, yeah.
Okay. MSP. From MSP to Amsterdam. That's how most of you go?
Yes.
Oh, very good. You are not dependent on Air India or United. Okay, so suppose if you're flying in Air India then, or any other airlines, for example, they'll be having so many coming out. So what's happening is, you got, this flight is so, they say travel light, but you have your bag also packed until it's full and about to burst, and then your mind is also packed fully with what all you have to do when you go to India, what all you have to buy and who all the things you have to take care, all the candies and whatnot. When you come also, you come with a load of things. Some people, most of them come back with a lot of things. And they're so stressed, they want to bring Hanuman Chalisa or whatever because they want it to be cleared. All the podis and whatnot, right? So I'm just saying everything is outside, but I know I've been saying this a couple of times now, but we have to see how it is called, what is outside. This is all something little technical, but easy to follow, and you will appreciate right away. If you really see what is outside is causing stress here, because what is outside, for everything outside in this world, we have internalized them in the form of agenda for those things. So what is here is agenda for everything in this world. Children, agenda. Children are not causing stress, but the agenda for the children are causing stress right here. Parents are not causing stress, but what a perfect parent should be there, allowing you to do everything, whatnot. So that is causing stress here. I'm just giving an example just to make it a little lighter. Children causing stress, if you ask the parents, they'll say, my child study, college and whatnot is stressing me and all that. More than specific college and specific subject also. They come to Bhagavan and pray, Bhagavan, not to give the best thing for the kid. Or they say, pray to Bhagavan, Bhagavan, I know what is best, you better just fulfill that. I'm making your job easy, Bhagavan. Okay? I know everything what I need. I'm just giving you the list and you just fulfill that. My agenda, you just fulfill that agenda. So I'm just making a technical point here. What is outside is not causing stress, situations and all that, but your agenda for those things outside. That's all I want to make a point. Just examples are just to make you feel connected in your own way. I cannot bring out all the examples. Bosses outside, but you are causing stress here. Because you have an image of what a perfect boss should be. And the boss also has an image of what a perfect employee should be. He thinks he knows better. We have an agenda for everything in this world, but let us look into the dynamics of how this agenda even crops up. I am not asking you to give up your agenda. We will rightfully have some agenda for everything what you want to accomplish. Job, house, market prices going up. So definitely you will have an agenda to buy a house if you are thinking about it. Nothing wrong, right? So it's not a talk regarding giving up your agenda, but then we are seeing the dynamics of how, right from the childhood, how we develop to this point where, desiring is such a great privilege. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dharma aviruddha kamosmi. I am that desires, all of your desires, Bhagavan says, that is me. As long as it is in line with Dharma. Right? That's Bhagavan's message. So, our Hindu religion, being in this temple, I can tell you, it is all for fulfilling all your wishes. That is why they say all that you wish can be categorized as Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. Why would they give 4 categories if they want to reject everything? Right? So Hindu religion, the temple and everything is to facilitate you, to make you excel in your pursuit of Artha. Artha means security. In Hindi they say Roti, Kapda, Makan. In your pursuit for a good housing, good clothing, good food, good shelter, whatever makes you feel secure. Bhagavan says, I'll fulfill those. Bhagavan is not coming and saying to you, hey, don't ask these things, ask for something else. People say that sometimes. Okay. People say, Bhagavan, don't ask Bhagavan all big, all small things. For Bhagavan, nothing is big anyway. You see the logic? How people all say, hey, don't ask Bhagavan nothing small. For Bhagavan, nothing is big. Saniji, ये Pujya Swamiji का वचन है, मेरा नहीं है. Or Bhagavan, if Bhagavan is, if you go and ask money to Bhagavan, somebody would say, hey, don't ask money to Bhagavan. Artha, it is a pursuit, it is a legitimate human pursuit. Then what would happen is, Swamiji would say, Pujya Swamiji, whoever is saying don't ask money to Bhagavan, you ask him for some money. Then he'll run away. You can peacefully pray for what you want. Only in our religion, all these 4 pursuits. That is why Shankaracharya Maharaj never went and made monks out of kings and all that. He never did that. Whereas some religions which are very close to us, Jainism, Buddhism, they are all monastic religions. Right from age 5, this boy has to be trained to be a monk in Tibet and all those places. Look at the big difference. So desires are all fantastic. We should all have some good desires. Bhagavan Sri Krishna had the desire to give Gita to Arjuna, and Bhagavan had a big desire for the Gita to last forever, even today, in Minnesota. By somebody from Arsha Vidya. So the parampara is continuing, that is Bhagavan's wish, desire. Now, but then if you look at it, let us look at the dynamics of our agenda. It's a very nice section, you'll all like this, I hope. So what happens is, as this child, suppose we are all, I'm trying to make it all the lighter, jovial and all that. Now we have Dhanvin here. Now Dhanvin, come here, come up here. Yeah, quickly.
He's coming. Oh.
Look at Dhanvin, such a nice boy. Come this way, everybody can see. Come on my right. Dhanvin, look at Dhanvin. Huh? Such a nice boy. Look at, he's smiling. Right? How long will he be smiling? For some time. As long as his mom is around. Okay? So if you look at it, how old are you then? When you said already for 4 to 5, he's becoming 5 today. Not today, July 1st. Am I right? Okay. Did you all knew that his birthday was only recently? Let us give him a good hand. Oh, go there, go. So now look at these kids and all. Now he is 5-year-old. But if you look at the kids who are much younger, he is also looking very relaxed because mother is around. Very important. Now, for the kids, what's happening is, this is where we are going to analyze. You and every one of us, including me as a kid, we were very relaxed. We are talking about, the topic is stress, okay? So relaxed. A child until 3 or 4, depending on how long the mother is around. Or the father, especially mother. For everybody, not just me, not just for the boys. For the girls also, mother is having a special status. So, as long as one of the parent is around, the kids, they're feeling very secure. Right? That kid which is so helpless, so hapless, is so relaxed because of the bonding the kid has towards its parents. So bonding with something real, in this case the parents, and that makes the kid so relaxed and secure. The kid has to come and it makes everybody also so relaxed. That's why I brought the kid up here. If I see that you're all getting too serious, I'll bring him one more time here. So, this is how all of us were. We didn't want our parents to be from Yale or Harvard. That didn't matter, PhDs from there. We didn't care if the parent was a millionaire or billionaire, no. For the child, the original trust is so bonding, that it feels so relaxed and original. That is called the original trust. But then what happens as the child grows, especially when the parents, or if the child doesn't see the parent around, because family needs 2 paychecks most of the times, right? We also encourage that. So that way there's less, in the house they come in the house and they're so tired, they don't have time to argue, and so in a way that's better. So what I'm trying to say is, this child has to see the parent. Suppose the child yells, "Oh, mom, cockroach," and jumping. And if the mom also jumps, looking at the cock, then the child feels, "Oh, my mom I thought was Bhagavan, she is the most fearless woman in my world." I used to say when I was a kid, when somebody bullies me in the school, bullying was there in India also, by the way. I used to say, I'll go and tell my father. In my mind, I know my father has no time for me, but still I'll tell that. Go and tell my father. For us parents were all Bhagavan, that original trust. But then the mom says, "Hey, I'm busy. Go tell your dad, he's not doing much there." Go to dad, and dad is having a laptop on his lap. Working, of course, for the child. Bhagavan says Krishna's parents were also like that. Her mother Yashoda, the mother, she was taking care of Bhagavan so well, and then once when the milk was boiling in the stove, she had to set him aside and go, and he looked around, mom is not around, he got upset. He broke all the pots and everything, because in Vaikunta he was in Kshira Sagara. Kshira means milky ocean. So here also he broke all the pots and was like making a Kshira Sagara. Like that. Mom is not, you think mom is going to be happy? No. She came and, see, this is just a child not seeing the mom around and then can go crazy like that. I know one kid was, when the kids are very quiet, they're up to something, by the way. You don't hear them around. Happened once, one of my priest friends, I used to be with a lot of these priests, they're all like my friends. So the wife was busy in the kitchen, and then the kid, and no noise where the kid is. And finally we knew, we were to search. In that washing machine area, she had pulled one big dabba powder of washing powder, and then her makhan, like Bhagavan said, Krishna's is, she was just licking that. I think luckily these are all made to be non-toxic and all that. They know all these things can happen. So what if the child is quiet? So likewise Krishna was mad doing all that. He didn't know that the mom was also running behind that milk, because that was Padmagandha special milk, and she was boiling only for Lala. What does it show? The child needs overt expression of care, although the care is there. Otherwise it has a sense of not being wanted, not being validated. Everyone, we as a kid also, we have that. Then what happens for this child? Because we are looking at the dynamics of, we're not doing a psychological shift of the blame and all that. No, we're just doing a dynamic analysis of where the agendas are all coming. This child, not being wanted, not being validated. So that means what? It's not going to stop there. It builds up an image of, what a perfect, the agenda sets in for a perfect parent and all that. Means, wanting more validation and all that. Then this child grows and then looks at the world, and this same wanting child, wanting that, acceptance and validation, looks at the world and seeks the same thing. Agenda for the world. It goes everything. And then what happens? World is going to be any kinder than the parents. So which means a lot of frustration. upsets and disappointments, and of course stress goes along with each and every one of these and disappointments and all that. But then that is not going to stop from resetting more and more agenda. It's only, there's a paradoxical connection. More frustration, more agenda towards people, things and everything. So this is the dynamics of how we have internalized people outside, situation outside, in the form of agenda for them inside. It started in that way. So we're not saying all agendas are bad. We're not saying asking you to give up those agendas. We are also we are just saying that they are very. If you are your near and dear ones around, you cannot but have some expectation and agenda and all. But you can communicate. Hey, this is how I would like to. I would like you to. Instead of saying this, if you were like this, I would be so happy. How how it would change you. That is the way you can communicate and all that. And then you can always give some time. Not everything in this world will change according to in your time and your space. Right? They can be in, what is this place? Minnesota, they may be like this. You take them to India, they'll start suddenly speaking their language with their grandmas and all that. Very nice. So, that's possible. So, their own space. If you feel like, you need to really, I can ask you one question. Do you think you can change anybody in your life? Have you changed anyone in your life? Huh? Someone thinks, they can change people. If you're married for 5 years, ask for somebody who's married for 10 years. If you're married for 10 years, ask someone who's married for 20 years, have you been able to change each other? Right? So, what has happened is over time is only we wanted more space. Hey, give me my space. First there is love, then allow. Allow me to be what I am. Right? So, what I'm trying to say is, there's a way of communicating and all that. One thing which we can do is, in order to protect you, I'm just saying all this not for somebody else's sake, for you to be a saint to someone else and all that. No, for your sake. Because what happens is when your agendas are there, then you are, having a sense of failure based on the agenda not being met. So first thing you can do is to keep that agenda flexible. Now this Bhagavan Sri Krishna, this Bhagavad Gita I said, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in the 5th chapter, Bhagyan Sparshan Bahir Kritva Chakshusyant. Was anybody here? Gita's competition, all that? Chicago is going on. I am going in the opposite direction, wherever that is going on. They called me actually for that. So Bhagyan Sparshan Bahir Kritva. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, keep the external object external. That is where I should have started and asked you the question, are in the objects external? They are, but Bhagavan is saying keep them external. What is the problem, Bhagavan? They are already external. No. You have internalized in the form of agenda. You have internalized agenda for yourself based on, being more acceptable, that child. And then you are now a big professional working in big companies, but the inner child is still there, and that can be manipulated. They will be made to do all the work, but when it comes to promotion, something else might happen. So, this agenda is internalized about yourself also. There are 3 people who are walking, all Pujya Swamiji's stories. So far, what I have told is Swami Dayanandaji's. One boy's name is Somadatta. Other boy's name is Yajnadatta. Third one is Devadatta. I'm using all these Vedic names because it won't match with anybody's names here. So, because I'm going to make fun of them. So they were walking, and then one person yelled, "Hey, Somadatta." He turned around. "Hey, Devadatta." Then that person turned around. "Hey, Yajnadatta." Yajnadatta also turned around. And he wanted to have some fun. When they were all walking a little distance, he called, "Hey, fool." You know what happened? Guess.
Everyone.
Arun says everyone turned around. Very natural. Why? Just to make sure. Why? I'm just giving all these examples to drive a point. How much agenda you internalize about yourself to the point that you have lost all, to some extent, to a great extent, your self-esteem. And when somebody calls some name, then you think that, just to make sure you turn around. So I'm just giving the point that we all can have a big sense of failure based on our agenda, but then by keeping this agenda very flexible, very provisional, if not in this time, some other time. If not now, if not in this place, some other place. So that kind of gives you that buffer between you, that flexibility gives you an attitudinal space between you and the agenda, so that sense of failure doesn't really bog you down and all that, right? So that is one way. But then what really works as a devotee of Bhagavan, that is where the whole thing, we are in the temple and talking about such a topic, then we have to make use of what we have already. Hindus all have a head start. They are all Bhagavan's devotees, right? In some way or the other. Now, how can you be more objective? Because one of the reasons why we are really affected, stressed out, is because we are so subjective. What is the difference between subjectivity and objectivity? Anyone can answer. So that way you're all awake. I also had lunch, by the way. But I won't feel sleepy. You know why? Because I'm speaking. My blood is all flowing here, Bhagavan's creation. You also, it should be happening like that, by the way. But that's why I'm asking this question. The time is like this, 1 o'clock. But it's a very good time. What is the difference between objectivity and subjectivity? What is the difference between being objective and being subjective? Anyone wants to answer? This is Swamiji's famous topic. Yeah, go ahead. They will tell you your name again. I forgot. Samvit, go ahead.
Subjectivity is actually somebody which knows, and the objectivity is a known.
Yeah, right. In a way, when you project what you know on what is to be known, I'm just going with what you said. I get away by giving some examples. That's why I ask you the basic definition. So suppose if you're all if you're walking, somebody is walking in the temple, and then he is going to Bhagavan straight. The main Bhagavan is our Vishnu Bhagavan, going straight, and then or Shankar Bhagavan, they're going straight, and then you're also around. They don't care for you, say. They walk straight to Bhagavan. How do you feel? You're waving the hand, but he doesn't care. And you also, since subjectivity is what? You think, hey, he's intentionally not caring for me. He's not disregarding me. How dare he? Not how dare you. You don't feel like that, but then your mind, already thinking of why would he do this to me? And all that, right? That is subjectivity. And then later on, suppose if you find out he has come to temple after 5 years. So he's got his own sense of guilt and self-loath. And that is why his mind is having agenda for himself, and he's so busy, nobody else is visible. He's a walking list of agendas for himself, especially when he comes to temple, because he has not been there for a while. So it's so much of load here, and he didn't see you were around. So you thought why? It was about you, but it was about himself or herself, right? So subjectivity is when you project your views and opinions based on your own lack of self-esteem and all that on somebody else, that becomes subjective. It's very hard to, somebody is so subjective, it's very hard to know, either you'll be exhausted trying to please the person, or you'll give up, something like that. So what I'm trying to say is very different. But we can always show, I'm not asking you to give up anybody, because we all want our near and dear ones, and we should, they're the ones who are going to be with us. So objectivity is when you know the connection between, there's an effect in the way he is behaving, but there could be a cause. It need not be you can be one of the factors, but so that is being more objective, right? So thank you for helping me with that. So projecting is subjectivity. Without any projection, as it is, objectivity. Okay? So now you can be more objective towards your own sense of accomplishments and sense of omissions and commissions. Because right now what is happening is we are playing so many roles. How many roles you are playing? Infinite roles actually. Mother, sibling, granddaughter, grandmother sometimes. Right? Not only that, your employee, employer, if you have 5 employees, yeah, that's one role. If the employer grows and your company becomes big and 10 employees, same employer role, but then it's a different flavor there. And if some people quit on you, with that, say, with the kind of a dejection, another flavor there. So many roles you play. And in all these roles, there's so much of omissions and commissions. Omissions and commissions means you want to do something and you miss doing, or you don't want to do something and then you commit. So these omissions and commissions are loading you. If you look at all that, and then there's a sense of hate and guilt. Hate or self-hate because of all your omissions and commissions, or guilt because if you didn't do something which you are supposed to be doing and all that. And then towards the other person also. So they are doing it, they are so pleasing. The whole world in us, in our vision, is divided into what is best for you, what is so pleasing and what is so displeasing. Right? You're walking and then we are saying hate, love, hate, love, hate, love. So this is being so subjective. And if you want to be very objective, and then we can start somewhere. Because when you're objective, what happens is you're able to accept the results in a very, very pleasant way, in a way which is so healthy. So your body, mind, senses, is it something given to you or you created that? Did you create your body, mind, senses, or is it given to you? I'm just trying to make you more objective, because this complex body, mind, senses plays a big role in you being so subjective. Did you create your body, mind, senses? Am I asking a difficult question?
No, yes, you create, yeah.
You create.
Yes.
Your name I forgot.
Vijay.
That's it, only Anna stuck in my mind. So Vijay says you create your body, mind, senses. How come you're born and then you didn't have any say over you're going to be born in as a man or a woman or that and this and whatnot, right? So you are answering my question. I'm glad, but I think we don't create. Even parents don't create our body, mind, senses. They are only one cause in between. What I was saying is this body, mind, senses are all given to you, dear friends. And so there is so much, it's a beautiful complex, body, mind, human body, mind, senses. So much intelligence behind that. Don't claim me it's your own, by the way. In a way, it's good to be very objective when you have good stuff. So when something goes this way, that way also, you can apply that objectivity. That is called applying a healthy attitude when things goes your way. So body, mind, senses. Bhagavan is blessed with that. Suppose if I ask you, this cosmos, all the planets, and what a beautiful synchronization of the, entire spatial arrangement of the planets and all that. Now that is also, in a way, it's not our creation. It is all somehow, it's given. I'm just using the word given to say that it is there. That's what I mean by given. It is just there, but it is doing a fantastic job. So it is called the physical order, the gravity. Right? I'm not coming to Minnesota preparing for a different gravity on the floor, not 9.8 meter per second, something else, bringing something with me now. It's all the same gravity. That's how they are able to shoot rocket from Houston, from Florida, and from Sriharikota. Right? So it is all the same gravity. Bhagavan's, let us not use the word Bhagavan right now. We're getting there. What is his name? Rudresh. 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 He's happy right away. His name. So then what else is given? Biological order. That is the physical order. All the planets they are on. Look at the weightless space holding all that is so heavy. Have anybody thought about that? Weightless space. Having Jupiter, whatnot. Everything is so heavy. Beautiful system there. Then I'll take the biological order. If you sow a mango seed, you don't get a Karela plant. You're right? You get the mango, same mango variety, Alfonsa. Right? Here they go bananas, we go mangoes. Because so many different varieties, all they know which one can give which yield and all that. Then what else? If I ask you a question, Dhanvin, can I ask you, may I ask you a question? Look at him, how confident he is. Sure, he's saying. How many of you are ready like that? Suppose if I ask you, everybody, okay, would you prefer a barking cat or a meowing dog? What would you prefer? How many of you you have to choose one, by the way. Now I am asking, you have no choice. You cannot be diplomatic and keep quiet, silent. How many of you would want a barking cat? One Ashrita wants, and then you also.
Dog is better, I guess.
Barking cat. And how many of you want meowing dog? Why?
Dogs are better.
Eh?
Dogs are better.
Dogs are better.
Whether
Sir.
meowing or barking doesn't matter. It's always the dogs.
They are honest. Dogs are very
Loyal, they say.
Loyal.
Honesty, loyalty. Human beings, they want to be loyal, at the same time they want to be manipulative. They both won't work. So what I'm trying to say is, Bhagavan's creation is, Bhagavan's creation is always meowing cat and a barking dog, right? And a roaring lion, trumpeting elephant. So this is all biological order. The baby of an elephant is always an elephant, right? Bhagavan's this biological order. I'm just using the word Bhagavan because they're all devotees, but then it is all already given, that's what I meant. Now, physiological order, as I said, the blood in my body is all flowing because I'm so enthusiastically speaking to all of you. Thanks for the mic. Without the mic, I had to, slowly my voice will raise and all that because more and more blood warming up. Yourself also, the blood, it's flowing to make you think and all that. But the gravity, if I pour this water, it can never flow up because of gravity. But the blood is able to flow up. What a beautiful creation that is. Heart pumping, right? So that is also, it's called physiological order. The cells, whatnot, And then is there any other order like that? You can think of, I'm going to come with some more. Psychological order. Say I said so-and-so, agenda, and then you can say connect to a child. So they also have an order. Psychology is a subject or not? Psychology is subject. Subject means what? They have found some cause and effect. And they can put as a big book, so much of cause and effects they have found. So that means there's an order in that also. Right? Your emotions and all that, they have sometimes the emotions are so disproportionate. You don't have to get so angry in a situation, but it just comes out and you blurt out something and all that. That may be that child within, right? So what I'm trying to say is they connect. That's how the psychology addresses the problem and all that. They see an order in that also. So when there is so much of intelligence, order, perfect order, then there's so much of effort and intelligence also. Suppose if I come to someone's house, and then if I see that, they have the rooms and all in a certain way, I built this house, they say, right, sometimes. Only in America they say, I built this house. In India, they don't, they built this house means they think that you didn't allow any workers to come and put the bricks and all that, right? Here they say, I built this house. Which means, you are the planner for this house, you are the architect for this house, right? So, if you see a house, in a certain way, you like, oh, this is good art. Who's the brain behind this? You ask. Say, me. So the intelligence has to reside in that person. Kitchen, if I go, and if all the sugar and everything is all, in the proper place, I can make my coffee without asking anybody. So you should appreciate that woman in the house or whoever is putting everything. Open the drawer, spoons are right there under the sugar cabin. And then spoons are arranged. Soup spoon, then what are the next spoons? Which means there is some order in that, and the order is because of someone's intelligence working towards that, and that intelligence has to be in that person. See, what I'm trying to get is, this is what I'm trying to get, and I think this is, I want you to pay attention to this. The child is so relaxed because of the bonding. Bonding with who? Parents. We are so stressed to some extent, or people who are even more stressed, they don't even have time to come here, by the way. They don't have any hopes of getting anything better here. So I am appreciating you all in a way. With that appreciation, I am asking, you're trying to solve a problem, or look at the problem very objectively. That's what you're here for. So that stress, how can we be? We were all that relaxed child. So now that original trust, original bond is all gone. The psychologists may say several things about, how it is all, from the childhood and all that. But that doesn't help. We only come up with more agenda for our parents. Grown-ups agenda for the parents based on the psychologists also. So it doesn't really help to recreate that bond. We love our parents, we care for them and all that, but we cannot go back and be that child. So that's not my point. My point is not to make you again be that child. Many people get away with this. Hey, be like the child. If I ask Dhanvin, hey, I want you to be like a child, he will say, are you kidding? I am 5-year-old. Right? I am okay, why? Even he feels he's grown up. So I want to talk about you all. So I'm not going to get away by saying, hey, become like a child. No. But then we want to reclaim that relaxed person we were. Now as as a grown-up devotee. Now that is where I'm trying to make a connection by seeing that if we can recreate that bond for the sake of your own relaxation with Ishvara as a devotee you are, alright? But then for that the parents were so real for you and me and for the kids. But the Ishvara is not so real now. So Pujya Swamiji is making Ishvara real for you by saying, behind all these orders which are listed, physical, biological, psychological, etc., 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 due to lack of time, I can see there's intelligence, and that intelligence, just like the intelligence of the house builder has to reside in the person, where is the intelligence for the entire creation? We say the placeholder for that intelligence, that being is, it's not floating around. When you want to appreciate somebody for something, hey, want to be very appreciative of you. Where is your intelligence? I want to appreciate that, not you. You don't say that. Because it's in that person. Likewise, the intelligence for the whole creation, wherever it is, that being we call as Paramatma, Ishvara, Narayana. Did I make Ishvara more tangible for you? More real for you? Right? This is plausible. This Ishvara is plausible. So instead of saying Ishvara is unfailing, but why is he failing me in my prayers, you can see if it helps to strengthen the bond with Ishvara, because that's going to loosen the bond. Ishvara, Bhagwan is so unfailing, but then I'm not able to accomplish what I do. If Ishvara is real, Ishvara is unfailing, why is he doing this? That is how there's a new religion. Buddhism is based on that. Buddha came out and he of his palace and saw what? Sarvam Dukkham Dukkham. This is Buddha's philosophy. And then he decided, how can there be so much dukkha when Ishvara is so perfect? So in the Buddhism religion, they took away Vedas, they took away worship, they took away priests, they took away Ishvara. And they only kept this karma model, makes some sense. But karma is also Bhagavan's order. The people are so impressed by this karma model. I only use the word model for the first time. Otherwise you think karma is everything. Ishvara is everything. Hindu representatives should say Ishvara is everything. For us, we are devotees of Ishvara. That is where you start. Then you are speaking the same language as the one who is coming from a church and one who is coming from the mosque. But if you set aside Ishvara and start saying we believe in karma, no, you believe in Ishvara. Why? Because even to give the karma phala, suppose if you work so well in your job, would you automatically be promoted? Would you automatically be appraised? No, you need your supervisor, Ishvara. Your Ishvara there to, let me see how you're done. By the way, you missed the party. What happened to you? I had a party last week, I didn't see you there. Everything will be considered, by the way. Right? It was a very productive meeting we had. I couldn't see you, but it's okay. So what I'm trying to say is, he's building a case for doing a different kind of an appraisal. What I'm trying to say is, he is the Ishvara there. So even for your own karma phala to fructify as this human body or that body and whatnot, you need Ishvara behind that. Now you tell me, is your religion about Ishvara or is it your religion about karma? That is very important. Then you can be more cheerful. It's about Ishvara. In fact, the karma model is meant to bail out Ishvara from all the differences which are happening in this world. Because you are a devotee of Ishvara. You are an advocate of Ishvara. So, not that Ishvara wants you to be, wants any advocacy or something like that. He is saying, we are devotees of Ishvara. So, if with the karma model, we can have an order even in the differences which we see, seemingly disorderly, but it can be put in an order by just mentally thinking there's a model which not just stops with this birth, which goes several births in the past, several births in the future. There you solve the problem. Not that you have any proof for that, right? But at least you have a model which is plausible. Karma order. Dharma also has an order. Dharma, na dharma. Only problem is our strong sense of what we like and dislike is not matching with what is right and what is wrong. If it matches, you are in line with Ishvara's order, Ishvara's order of dharma. That is where our role playing comes, and that is where we are having challenges, and that is where this session, how to play a role with so much of relaxation. First, you be that relaxed person. By rediscovering Ishvara this way, not by calling Ishvara as unfailing, but more than that, whatever is unfailing order which I see in all these different ways, order of electricity coming in all these different forms, all those order of everything, etc., that unfailing is Ishvara. That is Ishvara's manifestation. So, my dear Hindus, you are in touch with Ishvara when you experience Ishvara as a manifestation. So no more creation, it's all manifestation. Very big difference we do. So what I'm trying to say is, Ishvara, the entire creation is Ishvara's manifestation. Now as a devotee, do you want to go and search for Ishvara, to be in touch with Ishvara? No, you are in touch with Ishvara when you are experiencing this order of Ishvara, and then also when you're trying all your entire life to match with this order of dharma by playing your roles in spite of your own strong sense of likes and dislikes, to match with what is right and wrong. That itself is your contribution. You're not just being in touch with Ishvara as a manifestation of dharma, you're also contributing to that. Love, you're the greatest devotee here of Ishvara. So if you can rediscover that, what happens is, that can help you to see that that bonding is again possible. And once that bonding is possible, it is a matter of strengthening the bonding. For what sake? For the sake of being that relaxed person who that child was, you as a child, with your parent. Do you see that? Do you see the connection? Am I speaking to you? The way you're getting what I'm trying to say, like that? So now prayer has more meaning now for you, because right now prayer is for the sake of fulfilling your strong sense of what is pleasing and displeasing, which I don't mind. Going back to what I said initially, all desires are Bhagavan, no problem with that. But I also said where the problem could be by bringing the childhood agenda into picture there. That is all up to you to make some analysis there, which is easy. But then now you can pray also for strengthening this bond. Who's going to take this away from you? Your prarabdha, your what you deserve is always clashing with what you desire, right? And that is what they call prarabdha. And now this prarabdha cannot take away your desire to be bonded so well to Ishvara in this way. Same devotee, but now an enlightened devotee, an informed devotee. So, you see that? If you're an informed devotee, then your Ishvara is so real for you, and you all have a head start. In Hindu homes I went, there's always a puja room. If not a puja room, a puja shelf. Right in the kitchen area, so you can do offering, because Bhagavan is so real for you. And I'm only helping you by making it more real, by giving all these connections in terms of the order, intelligence, being that Ishvara, in that Ishvara. So when this is all clear to you, then all that when you pray, the bonding is only going to strengthen when you pray, and that is only going to make you more relaxed in all your role playings, in spite of all your omissions and commissions, because life is like that. Life is not, going to be a linear thing. Something. When one person asked me, Guruji, I understand this, but I wish my spouse was around. So one person asked, it is like there was a Tom, and he went to a psychologist because Tom thought he was a cat. Again, cat coming with. It's always nice to talk about food, pets. Okay, it's all everybody is bright and listening. And we went to a psychologist. Psychologist, hey, look at the mirror. Tom, do you look like this cat? He showed a doll of a cat. You talk like a human. Look at me. I am a human. You're a human. Okay? Tom, you're no more a cat. You're a human being. Tom is now clear. Therapy worked. And he went out. Came running back. Psychologist, now what? After all this effort. Tom knows Tom is not a cat, but the world doesn't know Tom is not a cat. Okay? So likewise, we are not here to bring everybody and make them change. The change is for you and not for the sake of others, for the sake of yourself. So you have a different view now about the whole, everything. Right from agenda and everything, you have a different view. I didn't give you a technique, but I have given you something which is more than a technique, which is a change in how you can think about all these things. That is always the Vedanta's challenge is like that. We want you to sit here and, if possible, even have a cup of coffee with me here. At the same time, discuss and create some brainstorming changes, actually. That's all which we do. Now, having gone so far, your role playings and all that, they can still bring some challenges. BMW car or any other such car, German cars, I don't know why they buy, because it's so heavy. The door is so heavy. Have you experienced that? The door is so heavy. And all this, it's like a cockpit of a flight with all the bells and whistles in the between all that. But they see some of these cars which are so heavy and all that, they got good shock absorbers. So what would a shock absorber do? Would it absorb all the shock and not make you feel like you're floating on the road? To some extent. But still you will feel the bump, but it won't break your back. Okay. So that is the purpose here. The purpose is life will still have some challenges, but with this new vision, you won't have that kind of, you have some kind of a shoka absorber, which is helping you to repossess yourself, compose yourself, reprocess your mind, and then apply it for where you want to apply. So objectively. You were supposed to tell your story. You're playing different roles, and in all these roles, now you're rolled into the role. You're exhausted. Oh, one role is more than enough, they say. One child is too many. One is enough. The parent would say that because of the role. They are rolled into the role. So exhausting. So now I'm going to give you that space. I'm not using the word distance. I'm not using the word detachment. I'm not using the word attachment purposefully. That is all, in my Vedanta, those words are all out. Detachment, attachment is only with the bogies in the trains in India, in the Vijayawada junction. Bogies detach and attach and all that. That is something physical. No, who is attached to who? Bone to bone in this world? Nobody. Some association, and then we are talking about some objectivity, so you have some nice space. That space is for you to be able to take up different roles happily, cheerfully. So that's when that space is so real for you, it's an attitudinal space. Now you tell me how many ever roles are thrown at you. They're going to be, right there. And you have your space to do that. Amitabh Bachchan, when he was given the role of different actors and all, he was able to do happily. Why? Because bring it on me, one more role, no problem. He will take the role of a beggar. Amitabh is a billionaire playing the role of a beggar. And when you all cry looking at the role, oh, he's happy inside. I made everybody cry. Why? Because he knows it's just the role. It's not the role. It is just the role. So likewise, that is what the space does to you also when you play different roles. The role cannot be without you. I'm not asking you to give up roles. Those roles you play, it cannot be without you. Don't think you're a very insignificant person when you play any role. No. As I said, you are contributing to Bhagavan's order in the form of dharma. You are dharma. And that itself is in being in touch with the Lord, Ishvara. So when you play these different roles, the only problem we have right now is called role hangover. One role, it spills into the other. One role's omissions and commissions and frustrations and disappointments, it spills into the other role. Doctor is in the office and the patient comes and is so excited, doctor, I am so sick, please do something, now. Doctor is not even asking him to sit. He also gets up in the chair and says, oh, what is your problem? And doctor also, if he keeps jumping, then the role transference, that patient has to be patient. You have to be a doctor. If you also keep jumping along with him, then you'll go look for a different doctor. Okay, so otherwise, sometimes what happens, the judge, if suppose, I'm just giving you all these examples, look at the role hangover. Judge comes to the house after a very hard session in the court, trying to resolve all the jury's verdicts on some big person's case. Okay, coming, and then he's so exhausted and all that his grandchildren are there. And they're all jumping and whatnot they're doing. If he's looking for a hammer, and if he finds a hammer and then bangs it on the dining table, order, order, order. I want order in my house right now. Otherwise you'll be subpoenaed or whatever that, you'll be, if he says like that, there's a role hangover. At home he's a grandfather. They're going to crawl on his head. He has to be okay with that. Role hangover. The cops come and then they have a very big role hangover. Their tone and everything has to take some time to change. Father comes home and then the children all hide. Because there's a role hangover. Father takes 45 minutes to cool down. They know.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Previously, yes.
Yes, when we were kids. And then slowly the children all come show their face. What I'm trying to say is the role hangover. We have in our own ways some role hangovers like that. That's the problem. That's because we are now rolled into our roles. We want that space, attitudinal space. And you as a devotee of Bhagavan, you bring in the devotee role in between. That is a space. Attitudinal space by keeping your agenda provisional. Attitudinal space by knowing where these agendas are coming from, if they are so realistic or if they are based on some sense of seeking validation. Attitudinal space by being more objective and less subjective. Objectivity, how you build, by you making yourself, you being a devotee of Ishvara. I'm summarizing a little bit here. And Ishvara, when the devotee mother, this devotee, not an ordinary devotee, this devotee is now in some understanding about Ishvara, that devotee, right? You are yourself that devotee because of what you listen. Now that is the devotee mother, devotee doctor, devotee teacher. That is our Hindu religion. That is how all these people are. Sani, all of you are sitting before me not because you are any less accomplished. Because you have some devotion, dedication to this knowledge which can give you that kind of a peace of mind which you can keep one up and then apply for wherever you go. right? So that kind of a modesty, humility and openness is there in all of you. That devotee between every role. Devotee student, devotee son, devotee daughter. Now that, why is that? I can keep technically speaking, why is that one role so permanent, so common? If you are the devotee daughter, your daughter is also a devotee, not granddaughter, daughter, for Bhagavan. Your son, yourself is a devotee of the Lord. Your son is also, or your sibling is also a devotee of the Lord in the same way. Everybody is children of that one Ishvara Paramatma. That Ishvara who has created your body, mind, senses was manifest as your body, mind, senses. Manifestation goes along. That is our religion, manifestation. So then you are to some extent protected. But then, as I said, life can bring some challenges. I'm just going to give you two more. You have been very patient with me, very nicely listening. I'm so appreciative of all of you. I don't even now care about when I started because I want to end very quickly. But I want to say these things. Life can bring their own challenges. Be communicative about how you would feel in the situation, all that. You empower the other person if it's required. But then in spite of all that, life can still throw some challenges. So for example, if I say I'm going to narrate a movie for you, okay, a Bollywood movie. In this movie, it's a movie in the United States of America. One man and one woman. This is how a Hollywood movie starts, right? Bollywood. The man is from Yale, PhD. This lady is from MIT, Harvard, PhD. And they meet each other, they get married. They have a kid. That kid is going to Stanford, PhD. And then finding another girl from MIT or some other college. And then they get married. And then they have kids. And that kid is also marrying somebody of this, getting a PhD from somewhere, Purdue or somewhere, married to somebody. The end, movie is over. Okay? Alright? Would you watch such a movie? Hey, masala kahan hai? We are given money not for this kind of a movie. We want some action, some twists in the movie, man. That is life. So in spite of all this role playing, you'll have its own challenges, but you can apply whatever I said because it has now changed your view about this whole thing. So it's going to work on you, it's going to grow on you and help you in all these different ways. And you will go back and do what Bhagavan Sri Krishna said. Bahya sparshan bahi kritva. And sometimes you can even do something more when you're playing role if you're relaxed. That is the final thing I want to say. Have you seen some Shakespearean plays? Shakespearean? What is so special about Shakespearean plays? It has got a lot of twists. Suddenly the plot changes, right? According to someone, Shakespeare is expert in that. For me, I don't know, I don't have that patience. I'm just borrowing this from somebody else, okay? But then, suppose if Shakespearean the plays are so like that and all that, suppose if you all play, if you all become part of Shakespearean play and all that, and then you're conducting a drama and all that. And it's a very tough play because so much dialogues and all that, and say kids are doing it, for example. And one kid misses the script. So they are all playing their roles, but people sometimes miss their script. That is when it's a challenge for us. And you are that person who is watching the script, is going off script. There's an audience and you want to make up for the script. And then you have that leisure, inner leisure space and all that. You just think for a second objectively, it's not about that person, it's not about him. We gotta get this going. So and he makes up for the script. Have you seen this play where somebody tries to make up? And then what happens to the audience all start applauding because he made up for the script. So in life you can be that person also. If you have this space, as a devotee, I want you all to regain that space, regain that bonding, to be more connected and to be more relaxed. That was my only goal in the whole session here. I came here very relaxed and I want you to be very relaxed, and I also want us to be relaxed in all our pursuits for the rest of the lifetime. So this is where I would like to conclude. I appreciate you all for your attention. Thank you. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Yeah, so I am a father of two teenage kids.
Okay.
My son is 17 and my daughter is 13, and I started taking a more U-turn to V-turn to Adhyatma recently, I would say 5, 6, 7 years ago. So I try to give them the sanskar and everything, but living in this culture and having all the friends and everything is a little difficult. What to eat, what not to eat, time and age that we live in. Now, when I try to, tell my kids, sometimes they have questions that they ask. Okay, what's happening in Gaza or Ukraine and everything? So where is God, right? The manifestation of God should be where. And I try to tell them, okay, prarabdha and the karma and everything. But what is the best way to kind of mold them towards it by giving a good, effective answer so that they also kind of get into the bandwagon sooner than later?
Yeah. Good question, very good question. Generally, it's better not to talk about prarabdha when it comes to others' suffering. When it comes to other people's suffering, don't use the word karma. No, don't use the word karma. I know you're trying to address a thing because you want to. What you can say is, a normal person, what would he say? I don't know. These people. What is Bhagavan has given human beings one extra thing in this world called free will. So unfortunately, the free will can go both ways, use and abuse, right? So it can go either ways, use and abuse. So we have to be very conscious of using that Bhagavan given privilege in a positive way. So this is all examples where we can learn. It is for our own learning that how we should conduct in our lives. That's one thing. And this prarabdha, you don't say for others. You can say that we don't know the ways of the Lord, of the Almighty Bhagavan. We only know that He wants to try to be, He wants to be just to everybody. He wants to be fair to everybody. And He might be giving a long rope. We don't know what He has the other end of the rope. Ishvara has the other end of the rope, and it can be in this birth or every birth. We want, He will definitely serve justice for those who deserve. So that is how Ishvara's ways, because justice is His manifestation. Instead of saying justice is a creation, He manifests. It's not that He's going to judge in the judgment day, but He's going to give it right here and now. We're going to see that. Like, for example, there was this ISIS crisis gone. COVID, again there are some human free will problems and all that there, some experiments and all going wrong and all that. That is also gone. So that means Ishvara has the other end. We don't want to think it's the end of the world. That is not our. For us, Ishvara is more powerful. He has the other end, but we cannot put our grasp around Ishvara's ways of working. So see how slowly from karma I have taken to Ishvara. Even if you're going to say I don't know, you can say always I don't know what is Ishvara's ways of doing things. That is the way you can start with. Then you can have a conversation and discuss and all that. Right? So I'm glad they're asking, keep the conversation going basically. Keep the discussion going.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any other question?
I have a
Swati, right?
Shweta.
Sweta, yeah.
I totally agree that being a Hindu is about believing in Ishvara, and I obviously believe in Ishvara. But then what about there are other philosophies within Hinduism, like the Charvaka school of thought? They just say, I believe in karma. They don't acknowledge the greatness of Bhagwan and all of that. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts about it.
Yeah, it's a philosophy. Charvaka is, they don't even believe in karma.
Okay.
Charvaka says that they're like any other people who don't believe in anything basically. They say this is one life, eat and make merry.
Okay.
And either by looting, pilfering or doing whatever you want, just take care of, make merry. That is Charvaka philosophy. They say, in Sanskrit they say, Rinam Kritva Gratam Pibet. Even if you want to get debt, go on debt, that's okay. Go on debt and eat what you want to eat. Lot of ghee. Eat a lot of ghee. And that's what they say. So, but your point is right though. Although this is karmatas are talking about karma. There are different schools of philosophy. it's good as long as they're discussing and they're not really catching each other's neck, right? So that is the greatness of a philosophy, of the philosophy which Buddhism originated in India, but it is nowhere in India, not because we killed them or they killed us and all that, because we had a discussion and then they lost the debate about the existence of Ishvara. So then slowly moved away like that. So we want those other schools of thought so we can discuss and we can for strengthening our own understanding.
Right.
We want that.
Yes.
But we don't want to fight, because what is important is you can win an argument but lose a friend.
Right.
And we don't want that. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
I also have one
Yes.
thing
Yeah,
to
thank you,
answer
Shilpa.
Sir's question here. Like I grew up here, my
Yeah.
entire life in Toronto and like in Minnesota, obviously. What really helped was my parents going over Ramanand Sagar's Ramayana with me. Like we like went over each and every single episode that we used to watch. As a kid, like they bought DVDs back then and like bringing over. So maybe like I don't know.
Yeah,
just,
for sure. Yeah, thank you.
Might help.
I show them Mahabharata once in a while because it's more entertaining. There's so much happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ramayana.
Because that kind of really helped me, because I would just see the statues, the pictures before that, and there's no way of me being able to connect. And after I saw that, then I could just really connect with our, all the avatars and the gods and just the deep philosophies that they have.
Yeah, I'll try that. Thank you.
Nice contribution.
I think I'll just add to that. What I do is, even now I keep the Amar Chitrakatha books at the dining table.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look like a very clean home or anything when guests come, but Amar Chitrakatha books are at the dining table. So while they're waiting for something, and in these days of 40 seconds, 140 seconds reels, there is a book there, right there.
Right.
So they'll open up and they'll read.
So one of the reasons for stress is you have to deliver something, but you are not the one doing it, you are depending upon others to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't know whether it will happen or not, or they may have their own plans to do things. So it will happen or not, that's the causes the stress. So how do you deal with that? It's not in your hand, that's why.
Yeah, so suppose a certain project is there, okay, and then you are a part of the project, and then you are one of the cause to bring a certain effect. Your cause can bring so much effect which you are trying, for example, right? So if you do your part, that is one, then and there your stress will be little reduced. But then in the process also we are thinking about other person doing their part and all that, right? So which is also the factors which are going to bring the success of the project. But see what are they can eliminate which is causing unreasonable stress in your mind based on what are you cause and effect. If for a certain result there are so many causes, right? So if you are objective like that, no problem. But when you become subjective regarding if this result if this result comes only this way, then only I'm going to see myself as a success. You have to redefine your success. You see what I'm saying? Redefining success by increasing your capacity to be able to accommodate what all the change possible. For example, you can say, I'm ready to fail. Children, suppose if they're so stressed in the exam, tell, I'm ready to fail. What is that? What is it? It's not the end of the world like that. So that is what I'm trying. Redefining your success might also help. Because in your case, you're saying my success is dependent on other people also doing their job and all that. That's going to cause stress because they're going to be in their own way. And then if it's a good supervisor, then you know who did and who did not do. And it's going to reward the people, not on that. So redefine your success and also do your part, and definitely the other people's part are definitely not in your hands. And you have to be very factual and objective about that also. Right? So that's a possibility. I agree with that.
Do you have any comments about stress versus stress, like good stress versus
good stress, they say, sometimes you have good stress, they say the musical instrument string, if it is too loose, no stress is not good. If it is too tight, it will snap. So there's a very sweet midpoint, they say like that. That is some kind of a stress. Like all your role playing, for example, right? This is all use stress only. The role playing which you are doing, if it is changing role searching, that is a good stress only. It's reshuffling the way you think about handling the issue and all that. So all the stress which your role is playing when you're objective, when the changes in the role, let's put it like that, not the stress, the changes which are happening, they're very dynamic. Change is the most constant thing they say, right? So those changes are use stress. And what is the other one you said?
Distress.
Distress. Distress is something which will, if that change makes you, instead of giving you a surprise, if it makes you disappointed, frustrated and all that, then you're converting the use stress to distress. Did I answer your question? Vijay?
Yes.
Any other question or? Okay sir, आप कुछ बताइए, यही है.
Obviously we come from the same teacher, and the connection goes like this. Sadashiva Samarambha, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmat Ach.
Yeah, it's still good. Just switch it on, yeah.
Well, we come from the same spiritual guru, and as I was describing, relationship starts with Sadashiva Samarambha, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmat Acharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Parampara. So the guru is the same, but the teacher teaches you depending upon how the student is. So you have the Antaranga and Bahiranga preparation you are preparing, uses different scriptures to get you ready. But the life experiences that you get, as we understand it, 1/4 knowledge, Acharya Padam Adarte, 1/4. Swamedaya, from your own hard work, preparation, referring to libraries, 1/4. Padam Sa Brahmachariji. By 1/4 knowledge you get from your colleagues, your friend circle. When you're having parties, discussing, we are talking about, you're learning it. Padam Kala Kramenacha. And 1/4 of it you get through the life experiences. So don't expect from it to get the knowledge right away. But as your parents brought you up since a young age, make sure you keep on learning. Ask questions, get mad, but follow what your parents are doing. They're Matrudevo, Pitrudevo. So basically you have to remember, they're the greatest teachers to start with. Mother, Dataji, mother is first, and Vallabhaji. Boys, forget it. So start with that education. And when you are doing the pujas at home as a grown-up, and you got 2 teenagers at home, challenges, you have to remember what you're doing it not by just words or mantras, by expressing those knowledge or lessons you have received through those mantras, through your day-to-day actions. They are more likely to follow you, what you do, not you say. So education starts from the very beginning. The younger people here who just have young children in our community, I've been fortunate enough that my wife, with the help of many of us, started the teaching school in the temple here in 2009. We call HATS, Hindu American Temple School. So many of the youngsters in this community have been our students. About 300 people who have been medical doctors going through the Hindu camp that we are running for the last 42 years. So education part starts from a very young age. And sometimes the people, even coming from India with IT specialists, they don't have a good solid education on Hinduism when they come here. So we feel blessed with the young leaders like that who continue the torch that we were lucky enough to start. So we have all the resources here to use Hindu American Temple School. We've been continuing since 6th of May 1979, every Sunday. We have lectures that you attend sometimes. So that lecture series still continues. But the education starts from that time. As a matter of fact, from our history point of view, Pratyagaatma is Brahman. That is Sarva Bhuteshu, Sarvam Samashritaha Gudakesha. So Sarvabhutatma Samashkrita. So that is what is located in every entity, or Samam Sarvabhutesha. This present equally in all the people. Won't tell you the whole story because it's too long a story. But I've been with Swamiji from 1985 till the last day I put him on the air ambulance to go to Rishikesh in August 2015.
I was there on that day.
You remember? Putting them and we sat along with him, and we had a medical school reunion 1 year in 1985-86, and I knew that he had just come back after 2 years of Vanvas in Rishikesh, back to Pokhara Mountains.
Just tell everybody who is Swamiji you are referring to.
I'm talking about Swami Dayananda, who was the main teacher for Chinmayananda school. He resigned from Sandipani school from California to take settlement in Rishikesh, and many of us, we invited him back to settle down in Pokhara Mountains. So he came here, and I had heard his voice on the telephone talking with Chinmayananda at my place, but I had not seen him in person till I knew he was here. So I knew that he was settled. So I just happened to, finishing the medical school reunion, got there, and he was teaching in the classroom Gita classes. And my wife Kumud, who is brighter, who passed away 2 years ago, brighter physician than me, my classmate, both of us were sheepishly walking back to the back of the room. And Swamiji was sitting in the front. As I was going next from me, he held my hand, sit here. So both of us sat here. For some reason, he had a love and liking for him. And we've been spending at least 2 weeks every year with him till 2015. As a matter of fact, last time Shuddhatmandaji called me, asked me to come down and see him. So I had a privilege to visit with him in the hospital. I was shouting to find out, and he was able to finally recognize Kumud and myself were there. So our connections have gone deep, and he has blessed both of us halfway down, so more than 30 years with us. But thing is, knowledge is the same. That's the reason Swami Dayanandaji, your Guruji, like my Guruji, his ashram is not called by individual's name. It's called Arashya Vidya. It's come Rishis. The knowledge has come parampara, from the tradition of enlightened teachers. So what we learn, what Swamiji was teaching this morning, how to deal with the stress, with the educational lessons passed on by the teachers for generations, has come from there. It is not his knowledge, it is Swami Dayananda's knowledge, but all the rishis over thousands of years who brought that knowledge for us. So when you have that kind of reverence, go ahead and do it. But the key for all of us in our community is to recognize that you've been blessed to have resources in this place. And you enjoy this particular place. And I'll tell you one more story before I conclude. 1 week before, Swamiji had invited him in 1986 in the old place with a renovated church. And when we built this place, we started in 2006, the new one, and invited him in 2009. 1 week before that, one of our devotees from our temple met Swamiji and told him, Swamiji will be coming to our temple next week. So what Swamiji answered was, yeah, one more temple to go. The reason for that, Swamiji was the head of Acharya Sabha till 2015, the time he died. So all the teachers, Hindu teachers around the world, he was in charge of it till his passing. So for him, visiting thousands of temples was not unusual. So he was telling our devotees, saying that one more temple to go to. And then when I had a privilege to walk with him in the temple worship hall that we have, in standing in front of Rama temple, tells to me, Dr. Sane, this is something special. I've traveled around the world. I found only a handful of temples which are the kind of spiritual vibrations I'm feeling now. I'll come here anytime. So we've been blessed as a community to have, which is as enchanted with spiritual vibration, to enjoy as much as you can. I have my own theories about it, why, but some other time I'll tell you. But we've been blessed with that kind of spatial place of worship, where you have, when you go upstairs, you have Tirtha Yatra. So we feel pretty blessed. And he was a magnificent teacher. He told the same knowledge, but as Pratyagaatma ji is talking here, when the stories are told, intermixed with the stories, the knowledge is passed on, intermixed with the stories, it goes much better. When Lataji prepares the food, but if she doesn't put the spices, it doesn't taste as good. What about you do? So it makes a difference. We have the stories to go along with it. And those stories, some of them he shared, where I have passed on to. So enjoy, you're lucky. And thank you again for visiting us. Namaste.